son duo, the Hacketts, Uncle Bernard Hackett and my main man Jalil Hackett. So I meant to ask, now that I got both of y'all together, if y'all had 5 fighters right now that you could say, if Eddie Hearns came to you with a list and said, here Jalil, there's a list of 5 fighters you get to choose from that you would like to fight, who would be on that list and why?
Alright,
I got to put Xander Zayas on that list.
Alright, well, you could make him number 1 because I would have had him on my list too. You got Xander Zayas, I go Broly, I go Andreas Katarakis, I go Brandon Adams, and I go, who the 5th man on there?
Oh, I got the bookends.
Who the 5th man?
Jonas Telez.
Jonas Telez.
Jonas Telez.
Okay, Jonas Telez. Why would you like this? First, we start off with Xander Zayas because he's probably the most known outside of Rolly, no name on that list. Why you want Xander Zayas?
They've been one of them, Chase. Been one there for a minute. It is a fight that'll be huge. I'm gonna win that one for a minute though.
I think Xander is one of the top cream of the crop of our generation fighters, and I think that'll be a great fight. I think it'll be the great fight where you would want to see it twice. I think at least twice. So I think that would be a great fight. So that's why I would do it.
Okay, and then you threw Rolly in there. You know, Rolly just come off an impressive upset of the year so far.
Rolly, one of them guys with like, he up there with the other big names. But like, if you fight him, like you gonna get a fight from the time they announce it to damn near the day after. It's gonna be something.
Because Rolly gonna pop it crazy. He not gonna let you.
Jalil got some comeback because Rolly gonna say some
he
wild
gonna have some shit. Hey, shout out Pete Dobson, man. Pete prepared me for my. I got comebacks for everybody now. Shout out Pete.
Okay, man. And then you got the other 3 on the list. What's them 3 that got to get on there for if Eddie came to you with that list?
All right, Jonas Telez. Recently he stepped to another level as far as like where he's at as far as a fighter. He has the WBA interim belt, you know. So he's definitely in line to get a world title. And I'm big on in any sport, in anything. In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Yeah. He about to beat the man, so you know you got to go beat the man.
I like Jonas. I think out of all the fights, I think that would be, if there's a 1A and a 1B, I think that would be it. To me, the reason why, Jonas is young. I think Jonas is 24, 25. Jonas has, I think, 10 or 11 fights somewhere in there, but he's a quality guy. His last fight, I really respected the way that he put that thing together. I really respect it. So that definitely put him as one of the guys I love to fight.
Okay.
And as far as Andreas Katarakis and Brandon Adams, I look like a lot of times when I look at boxing, I always look at the weight class I'm at, the one above and the one below. As far as those 2 guys, those are both guys that are ranked in the top 15 by multiple sanctioning bodies. So a win over those guys would put me, you know, one step closer towards a world title.
I think for me, those guys that he named, Brandon Adams, he might not be the household name, but Brandon Adams is quality. People, man, he went 12 with Charlo. People don't remember that.
You go 12 with Charlo, you a bad man.
His best weight class is 54, but he went up to 60 and went 12. You know, and Charlo will kill him. You know, so I respect him for that. And I think my son gets up for the higher level guys. He gets up differently. When it comes to Andreas Katarakis, I always liked him. I always thought Andreas was a good fighter. I like the way he comes to fight.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Hard hat, you know, like
he lunchbox guy.
Yeah, you gotta be ready to. If it's a 10-round fight, you gotta be ready to fight for 10 rounds. So
and that's why I like him.
Yeah, I agree.
For us, I don't like what they call cherry pickers. I mean, I think once Jalil did what he did and had the youth title, I think once he did what he did with Pete and had the Continental title, I think that at that point you're not building me no more. I'm ready to fight quality guys and take the next step. So when I look at those guys, those are the guys that I think they the shit. I don't want to fight nobody who I don't think is good. I think those 5 guys that Jalil named, I think they're the shit. I think when you rank it and level it, every day changes the ranking. Things change every day.
I don't even cut you off, but I always say this. I've been saying it for a while. In boxing, a lot of times you see guys, they fight, and then you look up and they be 29 and 30 and up. And you be like, damn, who the fuck he fought? And you can't name nobody he fought. and then, you know, he gets in there with a named guy, a quality guy, and he gets knocked the fuck out, or he gets the shit beat out of him, and everybody's confused on how that happened, because they ain't fought nobody. Compared to you see a guy, you might see a guy who's 20-3, where after his 10th fight, he been fighting old dogs. And, you know, that's how I look at it. You know, I'm trying to bring old boxing back to where, like, if you're not nice, you better find out you're not nice
early compared to you get 30 fights. Now you get knocked out in front of 50,000 people. No, you need to find out soon that you ain't nice, rather than you waiting 20, 30 fights fighting bums, you know. So, yeah, that's my outlook on it.
We share different outlooks. I don't mind a person building, get 10 or 12 fights, but at some point fight. I don't want 30 fights of low quality, but I do think that at a certain point, in Jalil's case, I think once he got the Pete Dobson fight, and people forget, Pete Dobson had just came off a 12-round loss against Conor Benn, who's one of the top guys. You know, if that's the case, he was Jalil's jump into the foyer. Once you went 10 rounds with Pete, after that, you can't look for a guy who got a upside-down record, 13-29, and that's when he wants you to fight. You gotta fight quality guys. The one thing I tell you, my son has always said, I'm gonna give you my best performance, and I respect that about him. Where he's not saying, he never said he's gonna finish his career undefeated. Ray Leonard ain't finished his career undefeated. Tommy Hearns ain't finished his. Greats, Ali didn't finish his undefeated. Our job is to give you the best quality fight we can, win, lose, or draw. So that's my piece on. That's all I want him to continue to do. And that's, like I said, I think, in my looking at it, I love to fight Jonas Saleh. Love to fight. I think if boxing goes the way it should for both of their careers, the big fight at 54 may take 2 or 3 years. That fight is Jalil Hackett versus Andy Sayers. I think both of them, they have 5 fights. And I think that's going to be the one. I think that's boxer versus puncher. And I think that's a great fight.
Gotcha,
but
man.
none of those guys do I diminish. But I think that's the...
That's what I say, just put it out, even though I named 5 guys and it was no order to it. And everything I named, I think is nice. I ain't named no nigga I think trash. And I never understood when somebody getting ready to fight another nigga, why the fuck you call him trash? Cause like, we call him trash and he knock you the fuck out. What does that make you?
Then if these are real fans and somebody like Jalil says, hey, I want to fight you, ask your fighter to fight him. If you think that's a part of, oh, we don't need to fight because he gonna do this. Nah, they gotta get in the ring included in what they gonna do. And like I said, to me, those 5 guys are great fighters. Ain't none of them lackluster. And we would love to fight all 5 of them at some point in time. And they got promoters. I do know one thing about our promoter. Eddie Hearns is always open to a discussion about a good big fight. So whether it's Eddie putting it on, or Eddie say we're gonna co-promote with somebody else's promoter to put it on, or the Turk wanna put it on, we willing to fight. That's what we're willing to fight. And that's, I think, the thing that boxing is missing. Young fighters
Let's make boxing great again.
Against each other, win, lose, or draw, and get it back in line. Because I know my son, if he beat one of them and it's a hell of a fight,
we gonna run that back.
He wanna run it back. So, you know, that's just how we are.
Got you, man. So Xander Zayas and Jalil Hackett. That's what we looking forward to. Hopefully we can get that. You know, Jalil get his fight in the end of the summer. Make sure that ankle's moving right and everything feel right. Hopefully we can get that to end the year off with, or maybe to start 2026 off with.
I ain't looking for that one. I'm looking for that in maybe 2 years. It gotta be something on the line and it gotta be a bag.
Okay.
We got other fighters we can get. We named 5, but I think the Xander Zayas and Jalil fight is one that you make when a lot of marbles on it. To me, it's the same as making a Trinidad De La Hoya fight. You know, I think it's the same as making that type of fight. So, you know, I think it's got to be something on the line. You know, not just being young, but something on the line. You know, I do want to fight. I do want to fight him. If for some reason the promoters got together before then and wanted to do it, we wouldn't be opposed to it. But I think those 2 are the cream of the young fighter crop when it comes to potential to fight each other. Same thing I tell you all the time when we talk offline. I love Emilio Vargas. I think Shawty can fight. I think he can fight. I think he's willing to fight anybody because he come from a thread. His father was willing to fight anybody.
Got you, man. So it was good rapping with the Hacketts. We know who that 5-man hit list is. Jalil Hackett and Bernard Hackett got Eddie Hearns. Let's see if we can make 5 out of 5. And if possible, we can't get 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5. But let's try not to get less than 2 out of the 5 in the ring. All right, y'all.